You've wasted enough time reacting. For the next 365 days, you move with intention. You act with discipline. You sharpen your focus until it cuts through chaos. You don't wait for motivation. You train your mind until hesitation dies. Every day you either gain ground or give it away. The choice is yours. Subscribe to our channel if you're ready to master your mind, and tell us, where are you watching from? Listen carefully to what I am about to tell you, for these words carry the weight of centuries. I am Sun Tzu, and I have watched countless warriors rise and fall, not on the battlefield but in the war against their own nature. The most dangerous enemy you face is not external. It is the chaos that rules your mornings. Every morning across the world, millions surrender their first battle before they even rise from their beds. They wait for motivation, that fickle ally that appears like morning mist and vanishes just as quickly. They trust in emotion to drive them forward. This is the first and greatest mistake. Discipline is not a feeling. It is not a wave of inspiration. That crashes over you. Discipline is a cold, calculating decision made the night before. It is the unspoken agreement you make with yourself that when the morning comes, you will move, regardless of how you feel. Let me share with you the wisdom that has guided generals and emperors. The morning hours are not yours to negotiate with. They are not a democracy where your feelings get a vote. They are a dictatorship of purpose governed by the iron law of discipline. When the alarm sounds, it is not a suggestion. It is a command. Your body will resist. Your mind will create excuses. Both must be treated as enemies attempting to sabotage your mission. The warm embrace of your bed is a trap designed to keep you exactly where you are, exactly who you are. Here is what you must understand. Those first few moments of your day set the tone for everything that follows. When you begin with discipline, you communicate to your mind and body that emotions do not rule here. You establish with absolute clarity that your decisions, not your feelings, determine your actions. This is how you must approach each morning. First, eliminate the possibility of negotiation. Your morning routine must be decided and laid out the night before. Every detail, every step, written with the precision of a military operation. Your clothes set out, your schedule determined, your first tasks already chosen. Second, understand that the voice that speaks to you in the morning, telling you to rest longer, to start tomorrow, to take it easy, this voice is not your friend. It is the voice of mediocrity, disguised as reason. It must be silenced, not with argument, but with immediate action. Third, you must create a gap between stimulus and response. When the alarm sounds, do not engage in internal dialogue. Do not weigh options. Move with the decisiveness of a warrior who has spotted an ambush. Every second of hesitation strengthens the enemy of procrastination. Remember this, in ancient battles, the army that hesitated was the army that perished. In your daily battle against comfort and complacency, hesitation is just as deadly. Your morning routine must be executed with the same precision and urgency as a military campaign. The weak warrior says, "I will start when I feel ready." The strong warrior knows that readiness is a myth. The only ready that matters is the readiness you create through action. Your feelings about the morning are irrelevant. Your actions during the morning are everything. For the next 365 days, you will build an unshakable foundation of morning discipline. You will not wait until you feel ready. You will not wait until you feel motivated. You will move because you have decided to move, and that decision is final. Start tonight. Write down your morning sequence. Make it detailed. Make it precise. Make it non-negotiable. When tomorrow comes, execute it as if your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. The life you want to live, the person you want to become, they are waiting on the other side of this decision. Remember, the Ibom warrior who controls their morning controls their day. The warrior who controls their day controls their destiny. You are not just building a routine, You are building the foundation of an empire, your empire. And empires are not built on feelings. They are built on discipline. Let others wait for motivation. Let them negotiate with their weakness. You will rise with the certainty of the sun, not because you want to, but because you have commanded it. This is the way of the warrior. This is the path to victory. In the age of infinite noise, silence has become your greatest weapon. Before you reach for your phone, before you allow the world's chaos to infiltrate your mind, you must first establish dominion over the battlefield of your thoughts. The modern warrior faces an unprecedented challenge. In ancient times, we prepared for battle by sharpening our swords and studying our enemies. Today, your first battle begins the moment you open your eyes, as thousands of voices compete for your attention, each one seeking to colonize your mind with their agenda. This is why the art of mental stillness is no longer a luxury. It is a necessity for survival. The untrained mind bombardment with information from the moment of waking becomes like a leaf in a storm, blown wherever the winds of distraction choose to take it. You must understand this fundamental truth. The quality of your silence determines the quality of your success. A mind that cannot find stillness cannot find strategy. A mind that cannot find peace cannot find power. Here is how you will create your morning fortress of solitude. The first hour of your day is sacred ground. Guard it as you would guard the entrance to your castle. No emails, no social media, no news. These are all forms of mental invasion, attempts by the outside world to establish their priorities in your mind before you have established your own. Create a space of absolute silence. If you must rise before others to find this silence, then rise earlier. If you must find a secret corner of your home, find it. The location matters less than the stillness it provides. This is your war room where you will gather your thoughts and plan your conquest of the day ahead. In this silence, you will practice the art of mental clearing. Breathe as if you are drawing in power from the earth itself. Let each exhale carry away the mental debris that accumulates in a busy mind. This is not meditation for peace. This is meditation for power. Your thoughts will try to run wild, like untrained soldiers breaking rank. This is expected. Do not fight them directly. This only creates more chaos. Instead, observe them as a general observes enemy movements. Note their patterns, understand their origins. Then, with the authority of a commander, direct them toward your purpose. Most will tell you that morning stillness is about finding peace. They are wrong. It is about finding power. In stillness, you will hear the strategies that the noise of the world drowns out. In silence, you will find the clarity that chaos conceals. Treat this morning silence as your daily intelligence briefing. In these moments, before the world's agenda crashes in, you will receive the most vital information of all, the true state of your own mind, the real priorities of your life, the clear path to your objectives. The weak seek distraction. They fear the silence because, in silence, they must confront their own mediocrity. But you will make silence your ally. In these quiet moments, you will forge your mental armor, sharpen your focus, and plot your advance. Let others begin their day by drowning in information. You will begin yours by rising above it. Let them start by reacting to the world's demands. You will start by centering in your own power. This is not mere philosophy. This is strategy. A mind that begins in chaos will create chaos. A mind that begins in stillness will create order. Choose wisely which you prefer to manifest in your life. For the next 365 days, you will protect this morning silence as if your success depends on it, because it does. You will treat these moments of stillness as the foundation of your daily victory. No excuses, no exceptions, no compromise. Remember, the warrior who masters silence masters themselves. The warrior who masters themselves masters their destiny. This is the way of power. This is the path of the true warrior. Let others begin their day by diving into the world's noise. You will begin yours by establishing your own signal, clear and strong, rising above the chaos. This is how you will win. The first battle of each day, in silence, in strength, in absolute clarity of purpose. A warrior without a clear mission is like an arrow without a target, destined to be wasted. In my years of commanding armies, I have seen countless soldiers fall not to the enemy's strength, but to the weakness of unclear purpose. Today, you face a different kind of battle, but the principle remains unchanged. Clarity of mission precedes all victory. Most people stumble through their days like armies without orders, reacting to whatever comes their way. They mistake activity for achievement, motion for progress. This is the path of the amateur, and it leads only to exhaustion without advancement. Every morning before you engage with the world's chaos, you must establish your mission with military precision. This is not a vague wish list or a gentle reminder of what you might like to accomplish. This is your battle plan, your strategic directive, your non-negotiable objective for the day ahead. Here is how a warrior defines their daily mission. First, you must understand the difference between objectives and activities. Activities fill time. Objectives conquer territory. Your email inbox is an activity. Your strategic project that will advance your position is an objective. Learn to distinguish between what keeps you busy and what makes you victorious. Your daily mission must be specific enough to be actionable, yet significant enough to be worthy of your warrior spirit. Ask yourself, if I accomplish only one thing today, what action would have the greatest impact on my long-term conquest? This is your primary mission. Everything else is secondary. Write your mission statement with the clarity of a general's orders. No flowery language, no room for interpretation. A weak mission statement says, I will try to make progress on my project. A strong mission statement declares, I will complete the first draft of my battle plan by 1400 hours. Precision creates power, but clarity of mission is not enough. You must also understand the strategic importance of your objective. Why must this be accomplished today? How does it advance your position? What territory does it help you claim? A soldier who understands the why behind their orders fights with double the strength. Your daily mission must align with your greater campaign. Each day's objective should be a stepping stone toward your larger conquest. This is how empires are built, not through random acts of effort, but through strategically aligned daily victories. Here is what separates the true warrior from the mere enthusiast. The warrior understands that each day's mission is non-negotiable. It is not a suggestion. It is not a hope. It is an order from your highest self to your present self, and it must be executed with the same dedication as if it came from the emperor himself. Many will tell you to be flexible with your daily goals. They are wrong. Flexibility is the excuse of the uncommitted. Your mission, once set, must be pursued with the single-minded focus of an arrow in flight. Let lesser warriors adjust their aims with every wind that blows. This does not mean you cannot adjust your tactics. The path to your objective may change, but the objective itself must remain fixed. This is the difference between strategic adaptation and weak compromise. Each evening, you will review your mission's execution. Was the objective achieved? If not, why not? This is not self-judgment. This is strategic assessment. Learn from both your victories and your setbacks. Use this intelligence to shape tomorrow's battle plan. For the next 365 days, you will begin each morning by declaring your mission with absolute clarity. No vague intentions, no loose ends. You will write it down with the same gravity as if you were issuing orders that would determine the fate of an empire. Remember, a day without a clear mission is a day surrendered to chaos. Your time is your territory. Your energy is your army. Your focus is your weapon. Deploy them all with strategic precision. Let others drift through their days, hoping to stumble upon success. You will advance with the certainty of a warrior who sees the entire battlefield. Your daily mission is your compass, your command, your commitment to victory. This is not a practice in productivity. This is a practice in power. When you bring military clarity to your daily objectives, you transform from a civilian reacting to life into a warrior commanding it. Choose your mission, state it clearly, execute it relentlessly. This is the way of the warrior. This is the path to daily conquest. Time is not a river flowing past you. It is territory to be conquered, held, and defended. In ancient warfare, every inch of ground was bought with blood and defended with vigilance. Your time demands the same fierce protection. For in this modern age, time is the ultimate territory, and those who cannot defend it will find themselves serving in someone else's empire. Understand this: every moment you surrender to distraction is a piece of territory lost to the enemy. Every hour given to meaningless activities is ground ceded to mediocrity. The average person's day is like a poorly defended kingdom, constantly invaded by the barbarian hordes of interruption, distraction, and pointless obligation. You must become the warlord of your own time. This is not about time management. This is about time dominance. Here is how you will establish and maintain your temporal empire. First, survey your territory. Map out your day as a general maps a battlefield. Where are the weak points in your defenses? Which hours are constantly under attack? Which territories have already been lost to the enemy of wasted time? This knowledge is the foundation of your strategy. Create clear borders around your time domains. Your most productive hours must be defended like your capital city. Build walls of unavailability around them. Establish moats of distance between yourself and potential interruptions. A warrior at work must be as unreachable as a fortress under siege. Learn to recognize the enemy's tactics. They come disguised as quick questions and small favors. They arrive bearing the false urgency of other people's emergencies. They infiltrate through the digital gates of notifications and alerts. Each must be treated as what it is, and attempt to breach your defenses and steal your most valuable resource. Develop a warrior's response to time invaders. Most people are too weak to say no, too timid to defend their temporal borders. They say yes to preserve peace, not realizing they are surrendering their empire one small battle at a time. You must learn to say no with the finality of a sword. Stroke. Your schedule is not a suggestion, it is a battle plan. Each block of time must have a clear purpose, a defined objective. Unstructured time is undefended territory, inviting invasion. Fill these gaps with purpose before someone else fills them with distraction. But mere defense is not enough. You must also launch strategic offensives to reclaim lost territory. Audit your commitments like a general reviewing his supply lines. Cut off those that drain your resources without advancing your position. Eliminate tasks that consume time but produce no victory. Establish clear protocols for engagement with your time. When can others request your attention? Through what channels? For what purposes? A kingdom without clear laws invites chaos. Your time demands equally clear governance. Your technology must serve your empire, not undermine it. Turn off notifications. They are like spies in your camp, disrupting your focus and fragmenting your power. Schedule specific times to check. Email and messages. Make technology your servant, not your master. Guard your sleep territory with special vigilance. The hours before rest are like the outer walls of your kingdom. Once breached, they compromise everything they protect. Establish a strict curfew, a time when the gates close and your empire prepares for renewal. For the next 365 days, you will treat your time with the same respect a king treats his crown. You will defend it against theft, protect it from waste, and invest it in endeavors worthy of its value. Remember, every moment is a piece of territory in the empire of your life. Some moments are meant for conquest, others for consolidation, but none are meant for surrender. Guard them all with a warrior's vigilance. Let others treat their time like an endless resource. You will treat yours like the scarce and precious. Territory it is, Let them surrender their hours to every invasion of distraction. You will defend yours with the ferocity of a warrior protecting their homeland. This is not about becoming rigid. It is about becoming sovereign. When you truly understand that your time is your territory, you will defend it not out of anxiety, but out of respect for your own empire. This is the way of the warrior. This is how you build a legacy that time cannot erode. Listen well, for what I am about to teach you about energy management has determined the outcome of countless battles. Your energy is not merely a resource, it is your army. Like any army, its power lies not in its size, but in how strategically you deploy it. Most people squander their energy before the real battles begin, leaving themselves weakened for the moments that matter most. The amateur warrior treats energy like an endless supply of arrows, firing at every target that appears. The master warrior treats energy like an elite fighting force, deploying it only where victory is essential. This is the fundamental difference between those who exhaust themselves without progress and those who conquer with precision. Consider this truth. By the time most people arrive at their most important tasks, they have already depleted their forces on trivial skirmishes. They engage with every email, react to every notification, and waste their mental troops on battles that yield no territory. This is not the way of the strategic warrior. Here is how you will marshal and direct your energy with military precision. First, you must understand the natural rhythms of your power. Every warrior has periods of peak strength and periods of necessary restoration. Map these cycles with the attention of a general studying the terrain. When are you strongest? When do you naturally falter? This intelligence is crucial for strategic deployment. Your highest energy hours are your elite forces. They must be reserved for your most crucial objectives. Would a wise general send his best troops to handle routine patrols? Then why do you waste your peak mental hours on administrative tasks? This is the first principle of energy warfare. Deploy your best forces against your hardest targets. Create energy barriers around your primary mission. Just as a castle has multiple walls, your important work must be protected by layers of energy conservation. Remove all unnecessary decisions from your peak performance times. Every choice you make is a small battle that depletes your forces. Learn to recognize energy thieves, those tasks, people, and habits that drain your power without contributing to your victory. Some appear harmless, like mindless scrolling or unnecessary meetings, but their cumulative effect is like 1,000 small wounds to your army's strength. Establish strict protocols for energy preservation. The morning hours, when your forces are freshest, must be protected at all costs. No digital distractions, no pointless conversations, no emotional engagements that aren't crucial to your mission. Your energy reserves are too valuable to be spent on preliminary skirmishes. Master the art of strategic rest. Rest is not surrender, it is reconnaissance and reinforcement. Brief periods of complete disengagement are not signs of weakness. They are tactical decisions to consolidate your strength. Learn to take these tactical pauses before your energy forces are depleted, not after. Understand the difference between motion and advancement. Many warriors exhaust themselves with activity that creates no strategic advantage. Every expenditure of energy must serve your greater campaign. Ask yourself, does this deployment of force move me closer to my primary objective? Your physical energy is the foundation of your army's strength. A warrior who neglects their body is like a general who neglects their supply lines. Your diet is your army's provisions. Your sleep is their rest. Your exercise is their training. Treat each with the seriousness they deserve. For the next 360 days, you will approach energy management with military precision. No more random expenditure, no more wasteful deployments. Every ounce of mental and physical power must be directed with strategic intent. Remember, the size of your energy reserves matters far less than how strategically you deploy them. A small force, perfectly positioned and precisely applied, can Overcome a larger but scattered opposition. Let others exhaust themselves in purposeless activity. You will conserve and concentrate your power for decisive action. Let them pride themselves on constant motion. You will measure yourself only by strategic advancement. This is not about working longer, it is about striking harder. When you learn to direct your energy like a master general deploys their forces, you will accomplish more in a few focused hours than others achieve in days of scattered effort. The way of the warrior is not the path of constant battle. It is the path of decisive engagement. Choose your battles, focus your forces, strike with concentrated power. This is how energy becomes impact. This is how effort becomes empire. The greatest battles you will ever fight are not against external forces, but against the enemies that lurk within your own mind. As I wrote in The Art of War, if you know your enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. But the enemies within are subtle warriors, masters of disguise who wear the masks of reason and wear down your defenses with the weapons of familiarity. Let me reveal to you the most dangerous internal adversaries you must learn to recognize and defeat. First among these enemies is self-doubt, the assassin that strikes at the heart of your confidence. It whispers questions that poison your resolve. Are you truly capable? Who are you to attempt this? What if you fail? These are not mere thoughts. They are strategic attacks designed to make you retreat before the battle even begins. Procrastination is your enemy's general, always advocating for delay, always finding rational-sounding reasons to postpone decisive action. It is a master of deception, making cowardice sound like wisdom. Wait until you're more prepared. Wait until the time is perfect. Wait until you're certain. Remember this: the perfect moment is a myth invented by fear. The third great enemy is the comfort zone, a territory that appears to be your ally but is actually your prison. It builds walls disguised as contentment, creates barriers masked as satisfaction. Every day you spend in its embrace is a day your true empire remains. Unconquered, these enemies coordinate their attacks with devastating precision. Self-doubt creates the opening, procrastination exploits it, and the comfort zone ensures you never leave your current position. This is how dreams die, not through dramatic defeat, but through subtle daily surrender. To defeat these internal adversaries, you must first understand their tactics. They attack hardest when you're closest to a breakthrough. When you're on the verge of significant progress, self-doubt will launch its fiercest assault. This is not coincidence. It is strategy. Learn to recognize that your internal resistance often increases in direct proportion to the importance of the task at hand. They use your own intelligence against you. These enemies are masters of weaponizing your rational mind, turning your analytical abilities into tools of paralysis. They will help you create elaborate justifications for inaction, complex reasons why now is not the time, sophisticated arguments for maintaining the status quo. Here is how you will defeat them. First, you must develop an early warning system. Learn to recognize these enemies before they gain strength. The moment you feel resistance to important work, the instant you catch yourself crafting excuses, these are your alerts that the internal enemies are mobilizing. Counter self-doubt with immediate action. Do not engage it in debate. It is a master of psychological warfare. Instead, act with such speed and decision that doubt has no time to deploy its weapons. Movement is your most powerful weapon against mental resistance. When procrastination speaks of preparation, respond with initiation. When it advises waiting, answer with beginning. Remember, a flawed start can be corrected, but a perfect plan, never executed, leads nowhere. Build daily practices that systematically strengthen your defenses against these internal enemies. Each small victory over procrastination, each time you push past self-doubt, each step beyond your comfort zone, these are not just achievements. They are strategic advances in the war for your potential. For the next 365 days, you will treat these internal enemies with the same seriousness you would treat any mortal adversary. You will study their patterns, anticipate their attacks, and develop counter strategies for each of their favorite tactics. Remember, these enemies cannot be permanently killed, but they can be consistently defeated. Each morning, they will reassemble their forces. Each day, you must be prepared to fight them again. This is not weakness. This is the nature of the internal war. Let others live in ignorance of these inner adversaries. You will develop the warrior's awareness that lets you spot them at a distance. Let others be ambushed by their own resistance. You will expect it, plan for it, and overcome it with strategic precision. This is the most important battle you will ever fight, the daily war against your own tendency toward surrender. Master this conflict, and all external battles become simpler by comparison. This is the way of the inner warrior. This is the path to self-mastery. In all my years of warfare, I have never seen a battle won by chance, nor a victory achieved through chaos. The warrior who rushes into combat without preparation invites defeat, yet I see this mistake repeated countless times in the modern battlefield of daily life. People charging into their days without strategy, without preparation, driven by urgency rather than clarity. Understand this eternal truth. The battle is won before it begins. The warrior who has prepared thoroughly faces half the resistance of one who charges in blindly. This is not about moving slowly. It is about moving with such thorough preparation that your advance becomes unstoppable. Let me share with you the ancient wisdom of strategic preparation, adapted for your daily conquest. First, you must grasp that preparation is not procrastination in disguise. The weak use more preparation as an excuse to delay action. The strong use preparation as a weapon to make their action unstoppable. Learn to know the difference. Preparation has a clear endpoint. It produces specific advantages. It creates tangible readiness. Your evening preparation ritual is as crucial as a general's war council. Before each day ends, you must gather your intelligence. What challenges await tomorrow? What resources will you need? What obstacles are likely to arise? This is not mere planning. It is strategic positioning of your forces before the battle begins. Create preparation protocols for every major area of your life. Your workspace must be prepared like a weapon cleaned and sharpened. Your mind must be prepared like troops briefed for battle. Your body must be prepared like a fortress, strengthened against siege. Anything less is an invitation to chaos. Here is how you will prepare with military precision. Each evening, clear your physical space. A cluttered environment breeds cluttered thinking. Remove everything that does not serve tomorrow's mission. Position your tools and resources exactly where they will be needed. This is not about neatness. It is about tactical advantage. Prepare your mind through strategic review. What lessons does today offer for tomorrow's battles? Where did your defenses fail? Where did your attacks succeed? This is not reflection for reflection's sake. It is gathering intelligence for future victory. Your morning preparation must be automated like a military drill. Lay out your clothes, prepare your nutrients, set up your battle station the night before. Remove all decisions that can be made in advance. Every decision you eliminate is energy preserved for important battles. Develop contingency plans. The unprepared warrior is defeated by the first unexpected obstacle. The prepared warrior has already anticipated and planned for multiple scenarios. What if your primary strategy fails? What if unexpected resistance appears? Have your alternate plans ready. Learn to recognize the signs of inadequate preparation. Rushing is a symptom of poor preparation. Confusion is a symptom of poor preparation. Anxiety about basic logistics is a symptom of poor preparation. These are not states to be endured. They are warnings to be heeded. For the next 365 days, you will elevate preparation to an art form. You will prepare your mind, your body, your environment, and your resources with the thoroughness of a general preparing for the most important campaign of their life. Remember, preparation is not about perfection. It is about strategic advantage. The goal is not to prepare forever, but to prepare so thoroughly that action becomes inevitable and resistance becomes futile. Your preparation time is not a luxury. It is a weapon. Every minute spent in thorough preparation saves 10 minutes in execution. Every hour invested in strategic planning prevents days of aimless struggle. Let others rush into their days in a panic of poor preparation. You will advance with the calm confidence of a warrior who has already visualization their victory. Let them waste energy dealing with preventable problems. You will conserve yours for the battles that matter. This is not about moving slowly. It is about moving decisively. When preparation becomes your strength, action becomes your advantage. A well-prepared warrior can move with lightning speed because they have eliminated all internal obstacles before they begin. Master the art of preparation, and you master the art of victory. This is not the path of delay. It is the path of unstoppable advance. This is how you turn your daily battles from struggles into conquests. This is the way of the strategic warrior. In the pursuit of great victories, most warriors overlook the supreme importance of small ones. I have seen armies fall not in grand battles, but through the accumulation of minor defeats. Similarly, I have witnessed empires rise not through single decisive victories, but through the relentless acquisition of small advantages. This is the hidden principle of sustained conquest. Win small, win often, win consistently. Understand this: the warrior who seeks only grand victories will find themselves waiting forever in preparation, while the warrior who accumulates small wins builds an unstoppable momentum. Your daily life presents countless opportunities for minor victories. Each one is a position to be taken, held, and built upon. Here is the strategic truth that most fail to grasp. Major victories are not single events. They are the visible peak of a mountain built from countless small successes. The master warrior knows that every grand achievement is merely the final stone placed atop thousands of smaller ones. This is how you will implement the strategy of consistent winning. First, you must redefine your understanding of victory. The amateur seeks only breakthrough moments, dismissing smaller achievements as insignificant. The master knows that each small win is a vital piece of territory claimed, a position strengthened, a resource secured for future battles. Begin each day by identifying your minimum viable victories. What small battles, if won today, will advance your position? These are not your ultimate objectives. They are the tactical gains that make your strategic goals inevitable. Making your bed with military precision, completing one focused work session, executing one perfect rep. Establish victory rituals, small but significant actions that you will win at consistently. These are not mere habits. They are daily battles. You commit to winning without fail. The consistency of victory matters more than its size. A small battle won every day will achieve more than a large battle fought occasionally. Learn to recognize and seize micro-opportunities for advancement. 5 minutes of strategic reading, one paragraph written, one connection made. These moments appear insignificant to the untrained eye, but the master warrior sees each as a chance to claim new territory. Stack your victories strategically. Each small win should strengthen your position for the next one. A morning workout. One creates energy for your work. A work victory creates confidence for your negotiations. A relationship win creates support for your next campaign. This is how small victories compound into unstoppable momentum. Guard against the ego's demand for immediate grandeur. It will tell you that small victories are beneath you, that you should focus only on magnificent achievements. This is the voice of strategic ignorance. The greatest warriors I have known were masters of winning small battles with the same intensity they brought to major campaigns. For the next 365 days, you will become a collector of victories. No win is too small to count, no advantage too minor to secure. You will approach each day asking not, "What can I achieve?" but, "What battles can I win right now?" Remember, Momentum is built not through intention, but through victory. Each small win creates energy for the next one. Each minor battle secured makes the major ones more achievable. This is how empires are built, not through occasional massive efforts, but through consistent small conquests. Develop the habit of celebrating tactical victories, not with excessive pride, but with the quiet satisfaction of a warrior who knows they are advancing their position. Each small win deserves acknowledgement, not for ego's sake, but for strategy's sake. Recognized victories become repeatable victories. Let others wait for their moment of glory. You will advance through daily acts of conquest. Let them dream of overnight success. You will build your empire one victory at a time, one day at a time, with the patience of a general who knows that consistent small wins are unstoppable. This is not about lowering your ambitions. It is about raising your strategic understanding. When you grasp that major victories are built from minor ones, every moment becomes an opportunity for conquest. Every small win becomes a step toward empire. The way of the warrior is not the path of occasional heroics. It is the path of consistent victory. Win small, win often, win strategically. This is how you build momentum that cannot be stopped. This is how you create success that cannot be reversed. In battle, clarity decides victory. I have watched armies fall not because they lacked strength, but because they lacked focus. Their forces spread too thin, their resources scattered across too many fronts. Today, you face a different kind of warfare, but the principle remains. The warrior who chases too many objectives captures none. Your greatest ally in this battle is not addition, but elimination. Understand this fundamental truth. Your power is not determined by what you can do, but by what you choose not to do. Every commitment is a division of your forces. Every responsibility is territory that must be defended. Every possession is a supply line that must be maintained. The more you accumulate, the more you must protect. Here is how you will sharpen your life to its essential edge. First, you must grasp that simplicity is not weakness. It is strategic power. The warrior who carries too many weapons becomes slow. The general who pursues too many objectives becomes ineffective. The mind that entertains too many possibilities becomes paralyzed. Elimination is your path to power. Begin with your physical space. Every object in your environment either serves your mission or impedes it. There is no neutral territory. That stack of papers, a potential ambush of distraction, those unnecessary devices, each one a drain on your attention. Clear your space with military precision. Next, audit your commitments with strategic ruthlessness. Every yes is a contract written in the currency of your time and energy. Most people say yes out of habit, obligation, or fear. The warrior says yes only when it directly advances their primary mission. All else must be eliminated. Learn to recognize the subtle forms of clutter that weaken your position. Digital clutter that fragments your focus. Mental clutter that clouds your strategy. Emotional clutter that drains your strength. Social clutter that divides your loyalty. Each must be identified and eliminated with tactical precision. Develop protocols for defending against accumulation. The enemy of clarity is not just what you already have, it is what you continue to accept. Create strong filters for new commitments. Establish clear criteria for new possessions. Build strong boundaries against new obligations. For the next 365 days, you will become a master of elimination. Each day, identify one non-essential element in your life. One commitment that doesn't serve your mission, one possession that doesn't strengthen your position, one activity that doesn't advance your cause. Eliminate it without mercy. Remember, the goal is not to create emptiness, but to create space for power. Every non-essential item you remove, every unnecessary commitment you eliminate, every distraction you cut away, each creates room for your true strength to expand. Let others pride themselves on how much they can juggle. You will pride yourself on how much you can eliminate. Let them embrace complexity as a sign of sophistication. You will embrace simplicity as a sign of strategic clarity. This is not about becoming a minimalist. It is about becoming strategically focused. Everything in your life must earn its place through direct contribution to your mission. If it doesn't make you stronger, sharper, or more capable of victory, it must be eliminated. Practice the art of strategic abandonment. Some battles are better left unfought. Some positions are better surrendered. Some relationships are better ended. The warrior knows that what you remove is often more important than what you add. Build systems to maintain your clarity. Regular audits of your possessions. Periodic reviews of your commitments. Constant evaluation of your activities. This is not maintenance. It is strategic defense against the constant invasion of the non-essential. The way of the warrior is not the path of endless acquisition. It is the path of strategic elimination. Remove what does not serve. Eliminate what does not strengthen. Simplify what does not clarify. This is how you build a life of power. This is how you create space for greatness. In the ancient arts of war, the strongest warriors were not those who avoided suffering, but those who learned to use it as a weapon. Today I watch as millions seek the path of comfort, running from every form of discomfort, not realizing that they flee from the very force that could forge them into greatness. Understand this: comfort is not your ally. It is a trap that weakens you while disguising itself as a friend. Here is the profound truth that separates the warrior from the civilian. Not all suffering is equal. There is unnecessary suffering that breaks you, and there is strategic suffering that builds you. The master warrior learns to distinguish between the two and embraces the latter with purposeful intention. Let me share with you the ancient wisdom of strategic suffering adapted for your modern battles. First, you must understand that comfort is a poison administered in small doses. It does not kill you quickly. It kills you slowly by diminishing your capacity for growth, your tolerance for challenge, your ability to persist when victory demands more than you want to give. The weak seek to eliminate all discomfort from their lives. The strong seek to eliminate only unnecessary discomfort while deliberately embracing the discomfort that serves their mission. This is not masochism. It is strategy. Every form of growth, every type of strength, every kind of resilience is built through strategic exposure to difficulty. Here is how you will implement the practice of strategic suffering. Begin each day by choosing your discomfort before life chooses it for you. Cold showers that build your resistance to physical shock. Hard training that expands your capacity for effort. Difficult tasks tackled first when your mind begs for easy wins. These are not punishments. They are deliberate exposures that strengthen your warrior spirit. Learn to recognize the voice of weakness when it speaks. It will tell you, you deserve a break. This is too hard. Why make things difficult? This voice does not protect you. It imprisons you. The warrior's response is not to argue with this voice, but to act in direct opposition to its suggestions. Develop protocols for systematic exposure to challenge. Too many wait for life to challenge them, then resent the growth opportunity when it arrives. The warrior seeks out challenge deliberately, understanding that chosen suffering is always more powerful than imposed suffering. Create training scenarios that push you past your comfort zone. If speaking causes anxiety, speak more often. If social situations drain you, engage more frequently. If physical exertion tests your limits, increase your exposure strategically. The key is not random exposure, but systematic engagement with discomfort for a specific purpose for the next 365 days. You will embrace one form of strategic suffering each day. Not for suffering's sake, but for the strength it builds, the resilience it creates, the power it develops. This is not about making life harder. It is about making yourself stronger. Remember, every comfort you currently enjoy was built on someone's strategic suffering. Every luxury you possess exists because someone chose to push through difficulty. Every freedom you have was purchased with someone's chosen discomfort. Let others seek endless comfort. You will seek strategic challenge. Let them avoid all difficulty. You will select and embrace the difficulties that serve your mission. This is not about being tough. It is about being strategic with your relationship to discomfort. Build your capacity for suffering gradually but consistently. Just as a warrior builds physical strength through progressive overload, you will build mental and emotional strength through progressive exposure to challenge. Each small victory over comfort increases your capacity for larger victories. Understand the difference between strategic suffering and pointless pain. Strategic suffering has a purpose. It builds a specific capacity, develops a particular strength, or achieves a defined objective. Pointless pain has no purpose beyond itself and should be eliminated. Learn to find satisfaction in the right kind of suffering, not in a masochistic way, but in the way a warrior appreciates the burn of training, knowing it signals growth. The discomfort you feel when pushing your limits is not pain. It is the sensation of becoming stronger. The way of the warrior is not the path of comfort. It is the path of chosen challenge. Strategic suffering is not your enemy. It is your trainer, your teacher, your path to power. Embrace it with purpose. Use it with precision. This is how you build unshakable strength. This is how you develop unstoppable resolve. The unprepared mind breaks under pressure, while the prepared mind bends and adapts. In ancient warfare, the greatest generals spent as much time contemplating defeat as they did planning victory. Today, I watch as people crumble before unexpected challenges, not because the challenges were insurmountable, but because their minds were untrained in the art of strategic pessimism. Understand this vital principle. Optimism is a warrior's fuel, but strategic pessimism is a warrior's armor. The master warrior learns to balance both, using optimism to drive forward while employing strategic pessimism to prepare for all possibilities. Here's how you will develop the warrior's mental preparedness. First, grasp that anticipating worst case. Scenarios is not negative thinking. It is strategic thinking. The weak avoid contemplating difficulty because it makes them uncomfortable. The strong deliberately rehearse potential challenges because this mental preparation becomes their shield when real challenges arise. Begin each major endeavor by asking, what could go wrong? What if my primary strategy fails? What if my resources are cut in half? What if my allies cannot support me? These are not questions of doubt. They are questions of tactical preparation. Each answer strengthens your position. Develop the practice of systematic scenario planning. Before any significant battle, whether it's a crucial presentation, an important negotiation, or a major life change, map out the worst possible outcomes, not to dwell on them, but to prepare for them. This is how you remove the element of surprise from failure. Create specific response protocols for each scenario. If this fails, I will do that. If this path is blocked, I will take that route. If this resource disappears, I will use that one. This is not anxiety. This is strategic readiness. The more thoroughly you prepare for difficulty, the less power it has over you. Learn to distinguish between productive and unproductive worst-case thinking. Productive scenario planning leads to specific action plans. Unproductive worry leads only to paralysis. The difference lies in the question, does this thought process create solutions, or does it only create anxiety? For the next 365 days, you will practice strategic scenario planning daily. Before each significant action, each important decision, each meaningful commitment, you will ask, what could go wrong and how will I respond? This is not about becoming paranoid. It is about becoming prepared. Remember, the warrior who has mentally rehearsed defeat is paradoxically more likely to achieve victory. Why? Because they have already faced the worst in their mind, stripped it of its power to surprise, and prepared specific counters to each possibility. Let others avoid thinking about failure. You will think about it strategically and systematically. Let them be caught off guard by setbacks. You will have already rehearsed your response to every possible setback before it occurs. Build mental resilience through regular exposure to worst-case thinking. Just as a soldier trains with weighted packs to make the real burden lighter, you will train your mind with worst-case scenarios to make real challenges more manageable. Create a personal disaster protocol, a specific set of actions you will take when things go wrong. This is not defeatism, it is strategic preparation. The warrior who knows exactly what they will do if everything falls apart paradoxically becomes more confident in pushing forward. Practice the art of strategic detachment. In your scenario planning, learn to separate emotional response from strategic response. This allows you to think clearly about difficult possibilities without becoming overwhelmed by them. The way of the warrior is not blind optimism. It is clear-eyed preparation for all possibilities. Strategic pessimism is not your enemy. It is your scout, your intelligence officer, your advance guard against surprise. Use it wisely, plan thoroughly. This is how you build unshakable confidence. This is how you develop true strategic readiness. In the art of war, it is not the grandest strategies, but the most consistent actions that ultimately prevail. I have seen armies with superior numbers fall to smaller forces who executed their basic maneuvers with mechanical precision. Today's battle is different, but the principle remains. Victory belongs not to those with the most impressive plans, but to those with the most unshakable routines. Understand this fundamental truth. Willpower is a finite resource, but routine is an infinite power. The amateur relies on motivation, a fickle ally that deserts you in crucial moments. The master builds systems so robust that they function regardless of emotional state or external circumstances. Here is how you will forge routines that cannot be broken. First, grasp that routine is not the enemy of creativity or freedom. It is their foundation. Just as a soldier's drills become automatic, leaving their mind free to focus on strategy, your routines free your mental resources for higher-level thinking and decision-making. Begin by identifying your non-negotiable actions. Those behaviors that, when performed consistently, form the backbone of your success. These are not your largest tasks, but your most fundamental ones: your morning ritual, your energy management, your recovery protocols. These must be systematized with military precision. Build your routines like a general designs their defenses, in layers. The outer layer consists of your environmental triggers, the physical setup that makes your routine inevitable. The middle layer is your sequence of actions, the specific steps that must be performed. The inner layer is your minimum viable routine, the absolute essential actions that must happen even under the worst circumstances. Create precise triggers for each routine. A specific time, a specific location, a specific preceding action. These are not gentle reminders. They are command signals that launch your behavioral sequences automatically. When this happens, I do that. No decision required. No motivation needed. Develop contingency routines for different circumstances. Your primary routine might work perfectly in ideal conditions, but what about during travel, during illness, during crisis? The master warrior has pre-planned routine variations for every foreseeable situation. For the next 365 days, you will approach routine building with the seriousness of a general preparing for war. Each routine must be written, tested, refined, and drilled until it becomes as natural as breathing. This is not about being rigid, it is about being reliable. Remember, the power of a routine lies not in its complexity, but in its consistency. A simple routine executed every day will transform you more than an elaborate one performed occasionally. Your routines are not temporary tools, they are permanent weapons in your arsenal. Learn to distinguish between primary and secondary routines. Primary routines are those that directly impact your mission success. They must be protected at all costs. Secondary routines are helpful, but can be modified or suspended when circumstances demand. Know which is which. Build your routines progressively. Begin with one unshakable sequence and expand only when it becomes automatic. Too many try to change everything at once, creating systems too complex to maintain. The warrior builds their routine empire, one automated behavior at a time. Protect your routines with fierce dedication. Others will not understand your adherence to these systems. They will invite you to break them, to be more flexible, to make exceptions. Remember, every exception weakens the routine. Every deviation dulls its power. Create accountability within your routines. Track them, measure them, review their execution. With the same rigor, a commander reviews their troops. This is not about perfection. It is about awareness and adjustment. What gets measured gets strengthened. The way of the warrior is not the path of sporadic heroics. It is the path of consistent, systematic action. Your routines are not limitations. They are liberators, freeing you from the burden of constant decision-making, enabling you to focus your power where it matters most. Understand that routines are not just about productivity. They are about identity. Each time you execute your routine, you reinforce who you are becoming. Each consistent action is a vote for your transformation. You are not just building habits. You are building your future self. Let others rely on motivation and mood. You, boss, will build systems that transcend both. Let them wait for inspiration. You will create routines that generate it. This is not about becoming mechanical. It is about becoming unstoppable. Your routines are your army's drills, your warrior's kata, your soldier's marching orders. They are not restrictions on your freedom. They are the foundation upon which your freedom is built. Master them, and you master yourself. This is how you build unshakable consistency. This is how you develop invincible discipline. In the heat of battle, the difference between the amateur and the master becomes clear. The amateur reacts to every movement, every provocation, every apparent threat. The master remains still, watching, waiting, responding only when strategic advantage demands it. Today's warfare may be digital and psychological, but this principle remains. Every reaction is a surrender of power to the stimulus that provoked it. Understand this crucial truth. The world is designed to provoke reaction. Every notification, every breaking news alert, every social media update, these are not neutral events. They are strategic provocations designed to capture your attention and hijack your focus. The warrior must learn to stand unmoved amidst this storm of stimuli. Here's how you will master the art of non-reaction. First, grasp that reactivity is weakness disguised as engagement. When you immediately respond to every message, jump at every notification, and react to every provocation, you are not being responsible. You are being controlled. The master warrior chooses their moments of engagement with strategic precision. Begin by creating space between stimulus and response. When information arrives, when emotions arise, when demands present themselves, pause. This pause is not inaction. It is tactical positioning. In this space, you reclaim the power to choose rather than react. Develop the practice of strategic delay. Not every message requires an immediate response. Not every situation demands instant attention. Not every emotion needs immediate expression. Learn to let things sit. Let the urgent reveal itself as merely important. Let the important reveal itself as merely interesting. Create protocols for engagement. Establish specific times for checking messages, responding to non-urgent matters, and engaging with information. This is not about being unresponsive. It is about being strategically responsive. You are creating the conditions for focused action rather than scattered reaction. Learn to recognize reaction triggers, those situations, people, or information types that habitually provoke an immediate response. These are not just preferences. They are potential weaknesses in your tactical position. Each must be identified and subjected to your strategic control. For the next 365 days, you will practice the art of non-reaction. Each time you feel the pull to immediately respond, to instantly engage, to reflexively react, pause. In that pause, ask, is this response strategic or is it merely reactive? Does this engagement serve my mission or does it serve someone else's? Remember, the warrior who reacts to everything controls nothing. The warrior who responds strategically controls the engagement. Your power lies not in the speed of your response, but in the wisdom of your timing. Let others pride themselves on their quick responses. You will pride yourself on your strategic timing. Let them react to every provocation. You will respond only when it serves your greater purpose. This is not about becoming unresponsive. It is about becoming strategically selective. Build your capacity for non-reaction progressively. Start with small delays in response time. Graduate to longer periods of strategic silence. Advance to complete non-engagement with non-essential provocations. Each level of mastery increases your power to choose rather than react. Create a personal protocol for emotional provocations. When anger rises, when fear emerges, when doubt appears, these are not commands for immediate expression. They are data points to be evaluated. The master warrior feels everything, but reacts to nothing without strategic intent. Understand the difference between responding and reacting. A response is chosen, measured, and strategic. A reaction is automatic, uncontrolled, and often regrettable. Train yourself to respond rather than react, to move with purpose rather than be moved by provocation. The way of the warrior is not the path of constant engagement. It is the path of strategic response. Your non-reaction is not passivity. It is power. Your pause is not weakness. It is tactical advantage. This is how you build unshakable composure. This is how you develop strategic control. No great general ever won a war alone. In ancient battles, the strength of an army was determined not just by its size, but by the quality of each warrior who stood in its ranks. Today, this principle remains unchanged. Your power is multiplied or diminished by those you allow into your inner circle. A weak alliance is worse than no alliance at all. Understand this crucial truth. You are the average of the 5 warriors who stand closest to you. Their standards become your standards. Their habits shape your habits. Their ambitions influence your ambitions. This is not motivation theory. This is strategic reality. Here's how you will build your elite force. First, you must conduct a thorough audit of your current alliances. Who stands in your inner circle? Do they strengthen your resolve or weaken it? Do they sharpen your edge or dull it? This is not a social exercise. It is a strategic assessment. Every relationship either advances your position or compromises it. Begin by identifying the qualities of the warriors you need in your ranks. What characteristics would strengthen your campaign? What skills would complement your own? What mindsets would challenge you to grow? This is not about finding pleasant companions. It is about building a powerful alliance. Develop clear protocols for admission to your inner circle. Just as a general carefully selects their officers, you must have strict criteria for who gains close access to your time and energy. Proximity is power. Guard it accordingly. Not everyone who wishes you well deserves a position in your elite unit. Create strategies for upgrading your associations. This requires both addition and subtraction. Some connections must be strengthened. Others must be diplomatically distanced. This is not about being cold. It is about being strategic. Every major advancement in your life will require a corresponding advancement in your associations. For the next 365 days, you will approach relationship building with military precision. Each new connection must be evaluated not just for its current value, but for its strategic importance to your future campaigns. Every existing relationship must be either strengthened or strategically reduced. Remember, the strength of your network determines the strength of your position. A warrior surrounded by mediocrity will eventually become mediocre. A warrior surrounded by excellence will inevitably rise toward excellence. Learn to recognize the different types of strategic allies, the challengers, those who push you beyond your comfort zone. The strategists, those who help you see opportunities you might miss. The support forces, those who strengthen your foundation and supply lines. The frontline warriors, those who fight alongside you in daily battles. The wise counselors, those who provide perspective and strategic insight. Build your network with intentional diversity of strength. Different battles require different abilities. The warrior who surrounds themselves only with warriors like themselves creates strategic blind spots and vulnerabilities. Understand that strong allies will test you. They will challenge your ideas, question your strategies, and push back against your weaknesses. This is not opposition, it is strengthening. The strongest alliances are forged through respectful challenge, not comfortable agreement. Create systems for maintaining strong connections. Just as military alliances require regular diplomacy, your personal network requires systematic attention. Schedule regular strategic meetings. Maintain consistent communication. Invest in the growth of your allies. The way of the warrior is not the path of lone wolf heroics. It is the path of strategic alliance building. Your network is not a social circle, it is a force multiplier. Your relationships are not casual connections. They are strategic assets. Let others surround themselves with comfort. You will surround yourself with challenge. Let them seek pleasant company. You will seek powerful allies. This is not about becoming isolated. It is about becoming strategically connected. Remember, every person in your immediate circle is either lifting you up or pulling you down. There is no neutral ground in close relationships. Every connection is either strengthening your position or weakening it. Build your alliances like a general builds their army, with careful selection, clear purpose, and strategic intent. Your inner circle is not a democracy. It is a meritocracy. Entry is earned through alignment with your standards, contribution to your mission, and dedication to excellence. This is how empires are built. This is how positions are strengthened. This is how warriors rise, not through isolation, but through strategic association, not through random connections, but through carefully curated alliances. The warrior is known by the company they keep. In warfare, the battle plan rarely survives first contact with the enemy. I have seen countless armies fall not because their initial strategy was flawed, but because they failed to adapt when circumstances changed. Today's warfare requires the same vigilant attention to feedback and tactical adjustment. The warrior, who cannot measure their progress and adapt their approach, is fighting blind. Understand this fundamental truth. Hope is not a strategy, and wishful thinking is not a tactical assessment. Every advance must be measured, every setback analyzed, every strategy tested against real-world results. This is not about perfectionism. It is about precision. Here's how you will implement the warrior's approach to strategic adjustment. First, you must establish your baseline metrics. What territory do you currently hold? What resources do you command? What positions have you secured? This is not a rough estimation. It is a precise accounting of your current strategic position. You cannot measure progress if you don't know your starting point. Begin by creating clear measurement protocols. Every significant objective must have its specific metrics. Every important battle must have its defined success criteria. Vague goals produce vague results. The warrior measures with military precision, numbers, dates, quantities, frequencies, develop systematic review procedures, daily measurements for tactical adjustments, weekly reviews for strategic assessment, monthly analysis for campaign evaluation, quarterly strategic planning for major course corrections. This is not bureaucracy. It is battlefield intelligence gathering. Create feedback loops that demand honesty. The amateur measures what they wish to see. The master measures what is actually there. Every measurement must serve truth, not ego. Every metric must reveal reality, not reinforce illusion. For the next 365 days, you will approach progress measurement with warrior-like precision. No more vague assessments, no more emotional evaluations. Every advance or retreat must be quantified, analyzed, and used to inform your next tactical decision. Remember, the warrior who cannot measure their progress cannot improve their position. Every battle, every campaign, every war provides data. This data is not just history. It is intelligence for future victories. Learn to distinguish between leading and lagging indicators. Lagging indicators tell you what has happened. Leading indicators predict what will happen. The master warrior tracks both, understanding that today's process metrics are tomorrow's result metrics. Build your measurement systems with tactical precision. Daily metrics, the immediate feedback that guides. Tactical adjustments, weekly metrics, the pattern recognition that reveals strategic effectiveness. Monthly metrics, the trend analysis that confirms campaign progress. Quarterly metrics, the comprehensive assessment that shapes major strategy. Understand that measurement without adjustment is merely record-keeping. Each metric must be linked to specific tactical options. If this number falls, that strategy changes. If this indicator rises, that approach is reinforced. Every measurement must inform action. Create clear protocols for tactical adjustment. What level of variance triggers a response? What type of setback demands a strategy change? What scale of failure requires a complete approach overhaul? These decisions must be made in advance, not in the heat of battle. The way of the warrior is not rigid adherence to plans, it is constant tactical evolution. Your strategies must be firm enough to maintain direction, but flexible enough to incorporate battlefield feedback. This is not about wavering, it is about adapting. Let others avoid the discomfort of honest measurement. You will embrace it as your strategic advantage. Let them hide from real feedback. You will seek it out as precious intelligence. This is not about judgment, it is about improvement. Remember, every measurement is a potential tactical advantage. Every piece of feedback is a strategic opportunity. Every setback analyzed becomes a future victory enabled. The warrior treats data as ammunition and feedback as weaponry. Build your measurement systems to be both comprehensive and practical. Too little data leaves you strategically blind. Too much data creates analytical paralysis. The master warrior measures what matters, tracks what's tactical, and adjusts what's adjustable. This is how campaigns are won. This is how territories are secured. This is how warriors advance. Not through rigid execution of unchanging plans, but through constant measurement, realistic assessment, and tactical adjustment. Your metrics are your maps. Your measurements are your intelligence reports. Your feedback systems are your scouts. Together, they tell you not just where you are, but where you can advance next. The warrior who masters measurement masters the art of strategic progress. Develop the habit of regular after-action reviews. What worked? What failed? What could be improved? This is not criticism. It is tactical intelligence gathering. Every victory and every setback contains lessons that can strengthen your next advance. The master warrior knows that the most dangerous position is not failure. It is success that goes unmeasured and unexamined. Victory without analysis breeds complacency. Progress without measurement creates vulnerability. The true warrior celebrates victory briefly, but analyzes it thoroughly. We have arrived at the final and most crucial battleground, the conquest of self. In all my years of studying warfare, this truth remains absolute. The greatest victory is not over external enemies, but over the chaos within. The warrior who has mastered themselves has already won the most important battle. Understand this ultimate truth. All external conquest is merely a reflection of internal mastery. The territory you can hold in the world is directly proportional to the territory you control within yourself. This is not philosophy. It is strategic reality. Here is the culmination of the warrior's path to self-mastery. First, you must grasp that you are not a single entity, but a kingdom of competing forces. Your thoughts, emotions, impulses, and Drives are like provinces that must be united under a single strategic command. Internal division is the first enemy you must defeat. Begin by establishing clear internal hierarchy. Your higher strategic self must command your emotional and instinctual forces, not through suppression, but through strategic integration. Every aspect of your nature must be recognized, respected, and aligned with your greater mission. Develop systems for maintaining internal order. Just as a kingdom needs laws, your internal world needs principles. Just as an army needs discipline, your mind needs structure. Just as a nation needs purpose, your life needs direction. These are not restrictions, they are foundations of power. Create clear protocols for internal conflict resolution. When different aspects of your nature clash, when emotion battles logic, when impulse fights strategy, when fear challenges courage, how will you restore order? The Master Warrior has predetermined responses to internal chaos. For the next 365 days, you will approach self-mastery as your primary campaign. All external victories flow from this internal conquest. All worldly power stems from this core strength. All lasting achievement builds upon this foundation. Remember, the warrior who cannot rule themselves cannot rule anything. Your first and most important territory is your own nature. Your first and most crucial victory must be over your own chaos. Learn to recognize the signs of internal disorder, emotional reactions that override strategic thinking, impulses that derail tactical execution, fears that prevent necessary action, doubts that undermine clear command. Build your self-mastery progressively. Start with the basics: control of attention, regulation of emotion, discipline of action. Advance to the intermediate: strategic thinking, tactical patience, resilient persistence. Master the advanced: complete internal alignment, unshakable clarity, unstoppable purpose. Understand that self-mastery is not self-suppression. The goal is not to eliminate parts of your nature, but to align them all under strategic command. Every emotion, every drive, every aspect of your being can serve your mission when properly directed. Create daily practices that reinforce internal order. Your morning ritual is your daily restoration of command. Your evening review is your daily assessment of control. Your regular practices are your maintenance of internal discipline. The way of the warrior is not the path of perfect control. It is the path of strategic management. You will never eliminate internal chaos completely, but you can learn to direct it, channel it, use it for your greater purpose. Let others remain victims of their internal discord. You will become master of your internal kingdom. Let them be. Ruled by impulse and emotion, you will rule with strategic clarity. This is not about becoming machine-like. It is about becoming masterful. Remember, everything you have learned in these chapters, from morning discipline to strategic suffering, from tactical patience to measured progress, all of it serves this ultimate goal: complete self-mastery. Your mind is your empire. Your will is your army. Your purpose is your banner. When these are aligned, no external force can long resist you. When these are in discord, no external advantage can long sustain you. This is how true power is built. This is how lasting victory is achieved. This is how warriors become unstoppable, not through external conquest alone, but through the complete mastery of self. Every other victory is temporary. This victory is permanent. The battle for self-mastery never ends. Each day brings new tests, new challenges, new opportunities for either strategic command or surrender to chaos. The Master Warrior welcomes this. Each challenge is a chance to strengthen control. Each test is an opportunity to deepen mastery. And so, warrior, as these 365 days stretch before you, remember, every external battle you fight is merely practice for this internal war. Every victory you achieve is merely preparation for this ultimate conquest. Master yourself, and you master all.